So we are finally coming to the end of 2020, and you know what that means? It is time for some goal planning sessions, and the best way to do that, and my favourite way, is by using a structured workbook with some prompts in it. And of course, I have one for you guys to download for free, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through each step of the process that I like to do with this workbook. So hello, if you are new here, my name is Anna from By Rosanna Design. I am a website designer and online educator, and I post lots of videos here on YouTube about business, marketing, productivity, tech tutorials, all that kind of stuff. So if you do like that type of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So goal planning, one of my favorite things to do, and I like to set aside a whole day. In fact, me and my friend Olivia get together for a whole day at the end of the year and basically just spend it reflecting on the year that we've just had in our businesses, and then making plans and setting goals for the next 12 months. So we like to set aside a day to do it, and every year we use the same structure and prompts that we go through, and I've put all of this into a free workbook that you can download on my website. The link will be in the description. You can download it and print it out, or I like to have it on my iPad and then use my Apple Pencil to fill in the notes, but however you prefer to do it. And even if you can't meet up with a friend or go somewhere like a cafe or somewhere outside of your normal working space, whether that's an office or your home, my recommendation would to still try and find somewhere in your house or in your office that is different to where you normally sit to work, because you have much less chance of getting distracted by actual work coming up. And also I tend to find that if I'm away from my desk, I just have more space for inspiration and ideas to hit me. So let's go through all of the sections in the planner so that I can talk you through the prompts and what they mean to give you some inspiration. So first up, we've got a big space for you to write down your 10-year vision. Now, if you haven't done this exercise before and you haven't worked through this workbook before, you can just start now and think about the next 10 years. It doesn't matter that we're on an odd number now. It's 10 years in your business that you want to think ahead to, and basically visualize yourself in 10 years and write down what you see or what you want to see in 10 years time. So because I brought this planner workbook out last year in 2020, it fitted quite nicely with it being 2020, a nice round number, and you're just planning for like the next 10 years to 2030. But as I said, it doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch this time. If you did fill out the planner last year, or you have done an exercise like this last year, I think a lot of us did because it was 2020, then just refresh yourself. So go through the exercise again, or just make notes, copy them off wherever else you have written them down, just to remind yourself of it as you're going through the rest of the workbook. So on the next page, you have a space to write down your ideal work day. And again, if you have done this exercise before, it's just useful to refresh your memory and have it there in the same workbook as your yearly plan for the next year. But just make a note about how you feel on your ideal work day. If you were to picture the perfect day of you working on your business, what would it look like? What sort of things are you doing? How does it feel? And then below that, there's a space for you to write your happy moments. So what are the things in your life that make you happiest? And this doesn't have to be relevant to your business, but why it's in here in this kind of business goal planner workbook is because all the things that you are doing in terms of running your business is hopefully so that you can have the happiest, best life that you want. And so it's good again to have this reminder before you start on any planning exercises of what actually makes you happy and what is meaningful to you in life, so that you don't go off down doing some random activities and exercises in your business that don't align with your values and what makes you happy. The next page is a spider diagram for you to be able to write down all of the things that you want to achieve and get done this year. Go crazy, think as big as you like. You can always edit it down later and move it into like your 10-year plan or a 5-year plan if it is too big. But for now, if you are just writing down ideas, you're just brainstorming, and just write down all the things that you want to do. If 2021 was your perfect year, what would you want it to look like? What would you want to get done? Next, we're going to be using a little bit of maths to work out your financials. So what is it you need to make in 2021 to have the life that you want? So first of all, you want to look back at last year, and you might want to get your accounts up or your bookkeeping up To check these numbers, you want to look at how much revenue did you make last year, how much expenses did you have, how much did you actually spend in your business, and how much profit did you make, and also how much you paid yourself, which is crucial whether you are a self-employed person or a limited company in the UK. Those are our kind of two different options for having a small business. Regardless of which one you are, you need to be thinking about paying yourself either as an employee or just giving yourself a certain amount of money each month. So write down what it was that you actually gave yourself last year. And what's really helpful is to look at what actually generated the most income for you last year, and where were you spending the most, what kind of things were you spending a lot on last year, because then you can work out, okay, I need to do more of this or I need to do less of this. Then we want to plan our financials for 2021. So we want to plan out, okay, how much do I want to pay myself? Start with that number. And then you want to add on, 20 or 30% for tax. You want to add on 5% for profit if you're using the profit first method. And then obviously you want to add on what you expect to spend monthly. And once you have that number, that's the minimum of what you need to be making revenue-wise in your business in order for you to pay yourself, pay your expenses, save money for tax, and put aside a little bit of money for profit for yourself if you're doing the profit first method. So now we get to the reflection page, which is much more about looking what you achieved in 2020 and also what maybe didn't work out so much in 2020. So maybe you started a blog and it went really well, or maybe it didn't go very well. Make a note of those things, and then what you can do in the space next to it is say, okay, why didn't that work out? And try and work out the reasons behind either your successes and achievements or your failures, which weren't failures, just lessons that you needed to learn. Then on the next page, we've got a retrospective. And what this is basically a space for you to write down all the activities that you want to do more of in 2021, need to remember, or less of in 2021, or also the activities that you want to stop doing and just keep doing the same. So maybe you were doing lots of Instagram engagement and you want to just keep doing that at the same rate that you're doing. Maybe you want to start an email list or do more email marketing, and then you put that in the more box. Maybe you tried doing some marketing on Facebook or Twitter, it didn't work out so well and you don't think it's right for you, and so you want to put that in the stop box. So the next page, if we think back to that revenue number, that goal that we want to hit in order to pay ourselves what we want to be paid, in order to pay our expenses and our taxes and put aside money for profit, then how are we actually going to make that revenue? And here is a box where you can literally put in all of the things that maybe you're currently doing and you plan to either launch, or services you plan to be offering, or products that you have that are currently making you money, and anything else that you plan to add to that list in 2021. And underneath that, there's a space for you to make promises to yourself. So this is just thinking about what other sacrifices that you're not willing to make in order to achieve your financial goals and your plans. So maybe you don't want to work past 5 o'clock on weekdays, and that's a promise that you're going to make to yourself to ensure that you have the lifestyle that you want and that you are happy in running your business. So you might make a promise to myself, I'm not going to work past 5 on a weekday. I'm not going to work on weekends. I'm not going to check emails when I'm not at my desk. Those kinds of things, like the things that you're going to say absolutely no to and make a promise to yourself. Then we've got the action plan, and this is just a big wide space for you to write down and kind of brainstorm all the activities you need to do now in order to launch those new products or services, or get on that famous podcast that you want to be on, or whatever it may be. How are you actually going to get those things done? Write down all the action steps that you need, and you can structure this however you like. You might want to put it in like a grid to say, for this goal or for this achievement that I want to do, then I need to be doing those actions. You can lay it out however suits you best. Then we've got the goal trackers. So I've put 4 sheets of these in the workbook, but you can print out or use however many you like. And this is where you can write down your main goal or your main focus. And then what's really important with any goal is to understand the purpose of why you're actually setting it. Why is this important to you? So it's really important that you have that written down. And these goal trackers are a really good way of just having it all visually in front of you to keep you on track. You're then going to write down when you ideally want to achieve it by. So this makes it like a SMART goal, so that it's time sensitive and you actually have like a marker of when you're going to have achieved it. And then below that, we've got the how. Obviously, that's quite a small box. So if you've got lots of action steps, don't worry about breaking that up into lots of little ones in that box. You can do that in the next couple of pages. But just briefly, like, what are the main things are you going to do to achieve that goal? And then who. So this is either, if you've got a team, you could write down who's actually going to help you do that. Or you can think of it as, who do I need to be in order to achieve these goals? So maybe if you are going to be starting a podcast and that's one of your goals, who do you need to be and show up as in order to get this done? Maybe this means you need to be organised to actually schedule things in advance and email people at the right times. Maybe this means you need to be more confident speaking and getting used to talking to a microphone, for example. Write down your intentions of who you need to show up as here. Then we've got your 6-month focus, and you can write down the more detailed action steps of what you need to accomplish in each month in order to get your yearly goals completed. Now, if you're not a fan of doing it 6 months by 6 months, because I do totally appreciate that at the moment it's better to be a little bit more flexible. It's very hard to plan 6 months ahead at the moment. So if that's not for you, you might have heard me talk about my 90-day Sprint Workbook that I also have available, and I will link down below in the video description. And that takes you through a really in-depth detailed planning process, but in 90-day chunks. So for 3 months or a quarter of the year, however you want to say it, rather than doing it in 6 months. So that might suit you better at the moment if you don't want to do 6 months ahead all at once. And then the last page just has some more resources for you to work out your plans. There are links to other planners and templates and video resources and trainings that I have in there as well. So again, as I said, if you want to follow along with this and do your own planning day like me and my friend Olivia will be doing, you can download this workbook for free on my website. Just head to the link in my video description to go and sign up. Thanks so much for watching, and I don't know whether I'll be posting a video next week because it is Christmas, but I hope you all have a lovely Christmas and a happy new year. Thanks so much for watching.